Arsenal London is winning his match in the Premier League 4-1 against Aston Villa. Very important match for the Gunners. The first playing against the third, and they're winning this game with so much dominance and such a good second half, especially, and winning this with 4-1. This is the post-match analysis of this game, where we look in detail on the goals and on the game in total. Yeah, like in the first half, it is Aston Villa really coming on strong into the first half, having some great chances, especially Ollie Watkins having one where he's not like getting the ball right on target with his left foot, not really placing it right, not very hitting the ball right, Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. And Arsenal is a bit lucky that they are not getting behind in these early stages of the game, in these early stages of the first half. But then, like after 15 or 20 minutes, the game is neutralizing a bit and Arsenal is getting better and better, creating more, getting more possession, creating more in the offense and more chances. Especially Victor Gyökeres has a great chance with a header after a good cross in from Leandro Trossard, I think it was, who played a great match, the left winger, rotating in for Gabriel Martinelli, who was playing the last game against Crystal Palace in the League Cup. I made a post-match analysis to this game as well. Gabriel Martinelli was playing world class this evening. He was the player of the match, creating so many good dribblings and chances for Arsenal with good crosses, with his pace, getting behind the lines again and again. But today, Leandro Trossard, who's like more maybe the A winger, the number one left winger under Mikel Arteta in this season, he's doing great as well. Doing a great match, playing a great match, and he was for me, the best player in the first half because he was creating a lot. He had good crosses, he had good scenes with the ball, good dribblings, and then it was a cross into Gyökeres, and Aston was coming on stronger, was getting better, and creating more and more chances, coming better into this first half. But in the first half, you can say the possession was more or less equal, the chances were more or less equal, and Aston Villa had one or two very good chances. Arsenal was not that good in the match. The commentators said it was like a kind of a nervous start, and I think that's right. Arsenal was not in this shape, also defensively, to defend everything, just very solid and just standing there like a wall in the defense. But Aston Villa was not using this little weak phase of Arsenal in the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then after this kind of bit wild, little bit chaotic, very little bit chaotic wild start in the game, Arsenal was getting better and better, as I said, getting the possession also with players like Ødegaard, more like being the dirigents, being strategic in the midfield, like getting a bit of calmness into the game, and this was really good. But after these chances, it was going into the half time, and there were not that much chances, not that much shot on target from both teams. But it was like you could see since the 20th minute, Arsenal was getting better and better. But then we can switch directly into the second half because there were so much more chances, so much more to see. Arsenal was coming on very strong into the second half with a lot of pace, with more strength, with more power, with more will, I would say. And as we saw in the first half, you have to say it, that there was a high press, as we know it from Arsenal, especially in this season, and especially under Mikel Arteta. They were pressing even higher, and the pressing had more intensity, more pace, more power. And also Martin Ødegaard was a great player in the second half and standing up really, really high, pushing up into like a second number 9 position besides Victor Gyökeres, and later on besides Gabriel Jesus, and initiating a high press and also pushing his other teammates like Martin Zubimendi and Mikel Merino, later on then also Christian Nørgaard, who is, to be fair, playing more like a holding six, a bit backwards, but pushing them in front, giving the signals for his teammates, being the leader and giving the signals to press and going forward and be a good role model in pressing and playing with high intensity. Martin Ødegaard was for me the secret man of the match because he was playing so good in the second half. For me, the second half from him was world class. But first, one thing which comes to my mind when we talk about Arsenal and the pressing in the first half, you have to mention from an Aston Villa perspective that the Villains were very great in playing with the ball, and when Arsenal was pressing, they were very great in terms of overplay. These pressing lines having good passes, good play, like from behind, from playing from the defense lines into the midfield, overplaying these pressing lines from Arsenal. This was really great. Aston Villa had like a very good passing accuracy and a very good passing quote, and were really good in these like vertical passes, overplaying the front pressing lines from Arsenal and creating spaces behind these lines, and they were very successful then in also using the spaces. Jadon Sancho was a player who was really good, I think, in the first half. He was a player where I say I liked watching him in the first half because he was using his pace also to create this counter-attacks and to push the ball forward through these big spaces behind the first pressing lines, behind the strikers and midfielders, which Aston Villa was often able to overplay, like the first players like Leandro Trossard, Gyökeres, Saka, Ødegaard, Zubimendi, Mikel Merino. They were out of play because Aston Villa had these good vertical passes, and then they had like Jadon Sancho behind the lines with a lot of pace, and there were some counter attacks. As I said, Ollie Watkins has to score a goal, or maybe he has a big chance, and maybe he can score a goal, and there was more to this chance, I would say. And sometimes he scores the goal, but today not. And also there was like this great counter of Jadon Sancho where he's going down the right ring and maybe he can shoot on his own. This was also what the commentator on Sky Sports said. And I also, as a German fan, was hearing or watching the English commentators because I really like it. And I think they're often better than the German ones, like more in commentating really the game and describing what you see and describing and commentating the game, and not as we often have it in Germany in the last months and years, like there are two people sitting almost doing a podcast on the game while commentating it, and they commentate some of the game, but they're much more occupied with like talking about all kind of side stuff and side topics about managers and certain players and certain play styles, but then over 2 or 3 minutes, and in the meantime there's so much happening on the pitch where they not really commentate which player has the ball or what is happening and what you can see, but also always or very often discussing all these side topics, and then they're suddenly surprised when something big is happening. This is some issues sometimes I have with the German commentators, that are always interested in like creating this side stories and telling this side stuff and making kind of a podcast, but this is just a side note. The English commentators, I think they're more focused on the game, commentating what is really happening, and I like that to be then also through these commentators be more immersed in the game. But yeah, this is just a side note. Back to the analysis. Aston Villa, you can mention that it was great in creating these counters and these spaces, and as I said, Jadon Sancho had this great space, and maybe he could have shoot on his own, but then he was playing this cross in this pass on the left, and there I think Ollie Watkins would have been there, or Morgan Rogers, but I think it was Ollie Watkins. But then it was Saliba again, William Saliba, with a world-class slide. Yeah, just clearing that. He's 24 years old, but he's so good in terms of tacklings and duels, and he's strong with his physics, but also slides and clearing in the last moment. He's so good at that, and also has great balls sometimes when he's playing long balls or passes. They're also great. This for the first half. To mention also the strengths and good points from Aston Villa's match, which were very mostly in the first half, because then they were getting weaker and weaker in the second half. But then second half, Arsenal is coming on strong, as I said, with much more pace, much more power, much more, also press, but with a higher intensity, and the press is working more and more, and they're creating a corner. And we know Arsenal is so strong after corners with set pieces, and they're very good with that. And then, like the corner, I see Saliba in the camera was focused on Saliba, on Gabriel, before the corner, when he was going up in front into the opposite box to be there for the corner. And you can see his body language is so good. And then he's just standing there with his body language, with his presence, and like a bit annoying, I would say, Emiliano Martinez, who is a great goalkeeper and had one or two great saves, but it is enough to distract him maybe a little bit, to show his presence, to show his strength, Gabriel, and then he is scoring the goal with his knee or with his leg somehow. But doing that really great. It is again a very dangerous corner from Arsenal. It is again Arsenal with 5 or 6 players into the 5-meter box, we say in Germany. I do not know the English word for it. Just feel free to write it in the comments. You know what I mean? The little box around the goal. And he's just there, and Saliba and Gabriel are occupying and annoying Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper of Aston Villa. And they have like 5 or 6 players again blocking other players, blocking defenders from Aston Villa, blocking the goalkeeper, also blocking their view on the ball, especially from the goalkeeper. So Emiliano Martinez can just react very late, and he is a great goalkeeper, but this is then tough for him as well, because Arsenal is creating some challenges for him, and then it's the 1-0, and it's the opener for a great second half for Arsenal. The corner, again, the set pieces are working and functioning, and this is the opener for a great second half, as I said, because then Arsenal is coming into a flow, into a real flow, and it is really fun then to watch them guys play. Because then they just have this flow, and they're going for the second goal. And you can see then 52nd minute, it is Martin Zubimendi with the 2-0, and it is so great done in this moment from Martin Ødegaard. Martin Zubimendi, Martin Ødegaard, 2 Martins, and they have this flow. As I said, they're just staying up in front, and Martin Ødegaard, as I said, is the leader in the second half. He is like the captain of the team. He is giving the signals to press. He's staying high up in front as like second number 9, as I said, besides Victor Gyökeres, pushing all the other players forward and giving all the signals to attack Aston Villa. And Aston Villa is like a bit shocked after this 1-0. The atmosphere is very rising up, and I very rarely heard the Emirates so loud as in this second half. The fans are pushing the team, which is great. You had a great support from the Arsenal fans there, from the supporters. And then it is just a mixture of Aston Villa a bit overwhelmed, a bit shocked, and also a bit weak in terms of trying to get the ball out of the own half in terms of the passing play in the own third and the own half, from perspective from Aston Villa. And Martin Ødegaard with the press, with the win of the ball, and then with a lovely pass. I think this is the word the commentator of Sky used as well. It's a little pass, but it's world class in terms of timing, in terms of how do you say it? How he is timing the ball. He's playing exactly in the right moment, and also like, yeah, how he's tempered the pass, we say also in German language. Like it has the right length and the right strength, the pass, if you know what I mean. And this is like perfectly done from Martin Odegaard. He's playing this lovely pass, this great pass, and then it's Martin Zubimendi, also great with a great run, with the right run, and just putting the ball in the bottom right corner with a little flick, yeah, with a little tip of his foot. It's perfectly done, also technically very good done, and you can see these are two great players who understand football, who can play football. And this pass of Martin Odegaard, perfectly timed, perfectly tempered. This is just world class. It looks very unspectacular, but it is done so well. And to see the space, to be able to recognize when it's the right moment, and then to play into the space, this is just world class. So, and then we have like 2-0, the Emirates is getting louder and louder, the atmosphere is getting up and up, and Arsenal is just, yeah, riding on this flow. As I said, 17 minutes later, in the 69th minute, it's Leandro Trossard with the 3-0, and here also for me it's Martin Odegaard in this phase of the game, initiating so much, wanting the ball, being one of the best players in the pressing against the ball, and also the one player with the ball who wants all the balls, who's saying to his teammates, hey, come on, give me the ball, pass me the ball, and initiating so much with like passes, with his knowledge of the game, yeah, with like his ability to see the spaces, to see where the teammates are running into good spaces, into for the opponent dangerous spaces, into good spaces for Arsenal, and then playing there, and also giving his teammates the chance to create then something. It is Martin Odegaard who is playing, I think, a very good cross, and it's a bit dangerous, and it's getting there and there. The ball is getting from one point to another, and then it is like Leandro Trossard who is getting it into the net with the 3-0, which is perfectly done. I think it was Jurrien Timber, has to be Jurrien Timber who is giving the assist then finally, but it was also in the development of the goal Martin Odegaard who was initiating. Yeah, and then it's Timber and Trossard. You have to very give him credit too. He was having a great match. As I said, in the first half, I would say the best player from Arsenal. In the second half, scoring this goal later on, I will talk about that further, about the 4-0 then. It was getting a bit bad for Aston Villa then, with the 4-0, with the 3-0 also, but with the 4-0 especially then for Aston Villa. Leandro Trossard was giving the assist to this 4-0 too, and shooting this wonderful goal to the 3-0. Very good shot. Yeah, just like ruthless. Ruthless was also the word of the Sky commentator. Arsenal was ruthless in these shots they had, and in using the chances. And this is the best word to describe this shot of Leandro Trossard. Very ruthless. And yeah, this was the 3-0. The 4-0, perfect counter attack, perfectly well played. And also there, I want to mention Martin Odegaard initiating this counter attack and just making it possible. In the 78th minute, Gabriel Jesus, he's coming on 1 or 2 minutes before that goal happened, which is crazy. He's a top striker. To have him from the bench and to throw him in, for me, he was also playing great and good against Crystal Palace. For me in the League Cup, he had like some bad luck, because I think he did not score. No, it was just one goal that they scored, I think, in this game, and then it was 1-1, and then there were the penalties. But like, he had great chances, he had great headers, he had good shots, but there was a great goalkeeper as well, from the goalkeeper from Crystal Palace. Yeah, and the goalie from Crystal Palace had a really good day. And but yeah, here in this counter attack, it's Martin Odegaard with this perfect move. He's standing with the back to the opposite to the goal of the opponent, and it's like the ball is in the first half, and the opponent, so Aston Villa, is pressing very high, giving a lot of pressure on Martin Odegaard, but Odegaard is so confident in the second half, so safe with the ball, so confident in his moves, in his actions, that he's just making this like kind of bicycle kick over the head, but very well played in the direction of Martin Zubimendi, just in the run of him, and Zubimendi is acting quickly as well, has a good reaction, knowing that there is some space. Yeah, he's running behind the defender or midfield player from Aston Villa, and then Zubimendi is playing also a lovely pass, very good pass, into the run of Leandro Trossard. Lovely pass, and Leandro Trossard also there, as I said, with good pace, with a good run, and a super pass, and very good looking, where is my teammate? Yeah, he's seeing the game and playing then to Gabriel Jesus, and Gabriel Jesus just perfect in like curling the ball around the defender, using the defender as a wall. This is how the Sky commentator described it for me perfectly, and also using him as a wall. So like Emiliano Martinez is just not able to see exactly when Gabriel Jesus is shooting, and he is seeing then the ball very late, and then it is even more difficult, even for a top class goalkeeper, one of the best maybe in the world, when it comes to holding balls. And as also German expert René Adler said in the first half, I heard some German commentary too, and René Adler was like a great goalie too in Germany, and he is saying like for him, he is one of the best, maybe the best in the world in terms of holding balls, on the line, like this traditional goalie play without this like, how good is he in terms of playing football, but like holding balls, he's very, very good, Emiliano Martinez. And then it is, even for such a good goalie, it's so difficult to hold the ball because he is seeing him late, and also Gabriel Jesus is curling the ball perfectly in the bottom right corner and with a good pace, and it's 4-0 Arsenal into the flow, just keeping it right up. And then we have like 8 minutes of additional time because there were some VAR situations, which is okay, 8 minutes to be added on, and I think Arsenal is a bit tired then. The flow is getting a bit down. A lot of people also just leaving the stadium, because it's a very late game, and then 8 minutes of added time, and maybe it's a bit quiet then in the stadium, and the tension is a bit out, and they're leading 4-0, so it's like human and it's natural that they're just bit off then, Arsenal. But yeah, so they cannot remain the clean sheet. I think this is a thing Mikel Arteta will also say, that they can keep the tension up then in the 8 added minutes, that there's potential for more, to defend it better, to remain the clean sheet. But it's like, a little beauty mistake, you could say. I don't know if it exists in England, but we say beauty mistake. I just translated from German, but I think you know what I mean. It's a little mistake, and you can oversee it a bit because it was a great game, and Arsenal was scoring 4 goals, but it is a little mistake, and the clean sheet is gone, and it's 4-1 at the end, and it's well deserved, I think, for Aston Villa, because in this added time, in the last 8 minutes, they were playing good, and before, in the minutes, they were also reconciling and were playing rather good. So like they were getting better, and in the added time they were really good. And for me, 2 or 3 things about this goal, how it happened. I saw a big difference when Nori Madueke came in for Bukayo Saka, which is natural because Saka is one of the best players of Arsenal, and Madueke is more like a backup. Even if he was a good player at Chelsea last season, Madueke has not that much experience on this high level as Bukayo Saka has it. And you saw a big difference, and Madueke was fresh and was coming in, but he was not that well defending. and he was a bit lazy sometimes, and there was a lot of space on the right side. And also Ben White came in for Jurrien Timber, and Ben White and also Noni Madueke were not that firm, not that into the game. It seemed for me like Jurrien Timber and Bukayo Saka, and they had both Madueke and White problems in defending Daniel Malen, who was having a great substitution, a great match when he came in on this left wing, on this left side for Aston Villa. I know him as a player of Borussia Dortmund. He was a great player back then with his pace, but also like a physical strength to, as he showed in his assist then for the goal of Ollie Watkins, the 1-4, the strength to go into duels and win these duels, to have a good dribbling, to have good pace, and to always have this run for the goals. And then he is difficult to stop for defenders, and even when you have world-class defenders like Saliba, you could see that it's for them then a challenge and a bit difficult to defend him. And it was a great scene of Daniel Malen. You have to give him credit for that, even if I have this post-match analysis from an Arsenal perspective, or I'm doing it from Arsenal perspective, because it was like a big will, strong will, to come through this defensive line from Arsenal to win duels against Saliba. You need some willpower, and then he is getting the ball somehow into the middle, and Ollie Watkins has not much work to do to get the ball behind the line. But this was great from Daniel Malen, and for me it was like, you could see Noni Madueke a bit lazy for me, a bit not doing the work he has supposed to do when Aston Villa or the opponent, other team, is like getting in front with the ball and Arsenal is standing very deep. Then the wingers have to help the defenders, or have to stand in the right spaces. And you could see a big difference between Saka and Madueke, I think, which is not really a surprise, and which is okay. But there is potential for Madueke maybe also in his defensive work, and for Ben White maybe too. But it was also great from Daniel Malen. He showed his quality and showed some great scenes. Yeah, this is like my post-match analysis to this game. It's a XL analysis, but it was a great football match. It was a solid, good first half, but it was a flow second half of Arsenal. It was a pleasure to watch that. It was a great Martin Odegaard. For me, he is like the secret man of the match. They said Gabriel is the man of the match, which I can understand. He was making the opening goal, and he had like great scenes in defending. Yeah, he was 2 times holding his head in 2 balls, where you see he's sacrificing a bit, and maybe also sacrificing a few brain cells because there were very tough shots, and one time he had like more or less the foot from the opponent player from Aston Villa in his face or on his head. So yeah, but he's like playing like a defender. He is clearing situations. He's a great defender. Had a goal today again, or tonight again. It was like his 3rd goal I heard in this season, which is great. Saliba was playing great too. Hincapie did a good job, I think. Yeah, I know him from Bayer Leverkusen, from the Bundesliga. Of course, as a German football fan, I'm very happy for him. He's like adapting very great, I think. It was like he was playing Premier League. Premier League level without any problems for me. He was playing a good left back. And I think with him, Gabriel and Saliba, this is for me the best defense that Arsenal can have. And then right back, Jurrien Timber, I think, is the best one. But I see Hincapie for sure better than Miles Lewis-Skelly, who is just a teenager still with 19 years. And I saw Lewis-Skelly in the League Cup and thought, he's like one of the weak points today against Crystal Palace. He gives his best and he's doing his thing, and it's great that Arsenal has many players from the academy, but you can see that he lacks a bit of experience, and Hincapie is some steps ahead. He's like, also a young player, but he's 23, and I have the feeling he's adapting quite well to this Premier League level, because he was playing now against Aston Villa, another top team in the Premier League, against the 3rd of the table and he was doing a good job for me too. And yeah, great players for me. Ødegaard, kind of the best because assisting the second goal so well, in pressing the ball, getting the ball, and then playing the right pass in the right moment. Developing the third goal, just initiating the whole situation, just making it possible, and with good scenes, and especially the fourth goal, just making the counter possible with the decisive ball for me. The other thing is great through from Subimendi, Trossard, and Gabriel Jesus, but Subimendi has a great move too and a great pass, but the pass is then easy to play. Trossard, he has pace, he's doing great too, but the run, he has the pace, it's easy to do. The pass then to Gabriel Jesus is also good. And of course it's world class from Gabriel Jesus and great from Trossard and Subimendi, but making the whole situation possible, creating the biggest space, making the biggest progress in this counter-attack is like Ødegaard with the technical, very challenging thing to solve under pressure of the opponent, to just have this confidence, also the look for the space, for the room, and then creating some chances. As you hear, I am a big fan of Martin Ødegaard, but I think this has its reasons, and he was playing world class. And after him, I would say Leandro Trossard, Gabriel, they were so good too, Saliba, and you can say they are number 2, 3, 4 for me today or tonight. So thank you very much for the attention. Give the video a like if you liked this post-match analysis. Leave me a comment very gladly. I'm glad when you comment stuff and we can discuss a bit the game or certain players. Where do you see the strengths of Arsenal, the weaknesses, maybe if there are some weaknesses at the time. Maybe like the first half, maybe like a bit of lack of concentration in the last minute, losing the tension. Just leave me your comments and your opinion. I'm always happy to connect a bit and discuss a bit with you in the comment section. And leave me a subscribe. Click the subscribe button to support my work and to follow in for further content and to watch further of this football content. Yeah, it's very fun for me to analyze the Premier League as well and to do content on English, which is great also to a bit improve and train my English skills. And makes very fun because the Premier League is the best league in the world in terms of football, with the Champions League, but the best national football league for sure in the world. And it's fun to watch the games and analyze them for you. So guys, catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Bye bye.